Tom persuaded Kate to wait until morning before making an attempt inside the hole. The slope looked steep enough to make the descent difficult, but the narrow confines might offer just enough resistance against the walls to arrest a fall. At least, that's what they hoped. In truth, Tom simply needed more time to think. Whether she entered the abyss in daylight or darkness wouldn't alter the danger. He washed down an antibiotic with a swig from his flask and then stepped away from camp to gather dry branches for a fire. Thoughts gnawed at him. Was the girl really his? Maybe Kate had taken up with some deadbeat, someone too cowardly to rescue his daughter himself. Or perhaps she was manipulating him with a phony story about a child, only using him to chase gold for her personal gain. Yet that line didn't match the Kate he remembered. Her earlier plea had felt sincere, and the timeline of their breakup matched the daughter's age flawlessly. Later, Tom settled beside her, both leaning against a fallen trunk, arms propped on their knees while firelight danced across their faces. The flickering embers filled his gaze, but in his mind he was elsewhere, imagining what Savannah might look like. "I don't really know them," Kate said. "I've got their names, sure, but I hadn't met them until Benson showed up on my doorstep." That same day, those two men barged in and took us. Crow, completely deranged, slaughtered Savannah's nanny, just sliced her throat, and that was it, her blood, spread across my kitchen tile. Kate paused, wiping away her tears with the back of her hand. "They gave me one job, convince you to help find the tomb of Atahualpa." "In the legendary Chamber of Gold," Tom replied, heat rising in his face as he envisioned the shine of it all. "I know the tale, thought about chasing it once or twice." He intended to pay the Spaniards his ransom with a fortune, but they executed him anyway. His followers, after reclaiming his remains, possibly hid the treasure in his burial chamber. It'd be one hell of a find. Still, as intriguing as it sounds, I'm pretty sure it's just a myth. "You're that confident?" Tom met her eyes. "Why do they want me? Why not search themselves?" "Because you have a gift for this sort of thing." "Your reputation precedes you, Tom. They didn't name names, but whoever's pulling their strings clearly knows who you are." His brows lifted in surprise. "Every part of this gets more bizarre." "I can vouch for that, believe me." "I have to ask, what is she like, Savannah?" Kate's expression softened. "She's got my eyes, but she's unmistakably your child, totally yours through and through, and she inherited your stubbornness too." He didn't know why, but her words rang true. Still, the thought of a mini Tom Logan out there, even a female version, was a little unsettling. "Then we'll track down the tomb and the gold," he said, sounding more resolute than Kate might have expected. "We'll bring her back or die trying." Kate awoke to the scent of fish sizzling atop a campfire, greeted by the sight of Tom's signature dimples peeking out through a haze of sandy stubble. Evidently, he had gotten up early, ventured off to a stream or nearby body of water, and miraculously caught a fish without the aid of pole or net. He had located a flat stone, given it a good scrub, and placed it over the flames. The fish fillets hissed against its polished surface. Tom wielded his pocket knife like a spatula, yet another testament to his resourcefulness. When he noticed Kate stirring, he greeted her with "morning sunshine." Tom, you're making things worse." "I'm just messing with you, I've got your back." It was a comforting remark until the vines securing her waist began to give. Kate took one hand off the wall to fix the rope, but the problem persisted. Acting on instinct, she let go with her other hand to pull the line tighter. She attempted to wedge the flashlight under her elbow to keep it steady. That didn't go well. The torch slipped loose and vanished into the depths. Though it wasn't lit and she couldn't see it fall, she heard it clatter against the rock as it dropped out of reach. Then her grip faltered on the slick surface, and she plunged headfirst into the pit. A scream tore from her throat as she fell, the beam from her headlamp illuminating the descent into blackness. Kate attempted to slow her descent into the hole, but the slick stone, made wet by rain runoff and blanketed with mold, offered no grip. Her body was thrown from the vertical shaft, limbs flapping wildly, and crashed into frigid water, icy like a stream nourished by snowmelt. As she plunged into the dark depths, her waterproof headlamp casting beams into the surrounding gloom. Gasping and startled, Kate thrashed toward the surface, eyes wide with shock. As she broke into the open chamber, wheezing, trembling, her teeth chattering as she tried to make sense of her plunge. Drenched and chilled to the bone, she hadn't braced for such conditions. Her lamp swept across the vast walls, picking out a vaulted ceiling, and eventually she spotted a dry patch not far away. She paddled toward it. Moments later, she scrambled onto the ground and flopped down face first. While she lay stunned and shivering, she thought she could make out Tom's voice echoing toward her. His call roused her, pulled her upright. Though faint, the voice helped her find the shaft's direction. "Kate," he shouted, "are you okay?" "Can you hear me? I'm cheerful," she called back, and freezing. But she doubted he could hear from across the water. Raising her voice, which rebounded off the chamber's stone, she added, "I'm okay. I think I might be stuck down here." Tom didn't respond, nor did his tone change. His cries remained anxious, insistent. A few seconds later, a vine dropped down, swinging just out of her reach. "I'm going to have to find another way out," she told him, knowing it was futile to speak. Then she noticed something strange. The water wasn't stagnant. It flowed gently, tracing a path across the chamber until it touched the far wall. Kate followed the edge of the pool, sticking to the current's course. Her lamp revealed where the wall met the water. A sudden idea struck. She shut off her headlamp and waited for her eyes to adapt. Then she saw it, a dim glow ahead. It came from an opening where the water drained out, possibly leading to the same stream from which Tom had caught their breakfast fish. She guessed it passed through the mountain base, and beneath the rock structure Tom likened to a pyramid. As if her breath held long enough, she could swim out. If that was true, they'd be able to re-enter the chamber together and explore it completely. A tremor crawled down Kate's spine. Steeling herself, she flicked her headlamp back on and stepped into the water again. She yelped at its icy grip but kept her resolve. At the outlet, she drew in a gulp of air and dove beneath the surface. Instantly, the water clung to her, constricting her movement and draining her stamina as if trying to sap her will. She ached for air. Her light revealed a tight ceiling crowding the tunnel. There were no gaps to breathe. Her chest burned. Then up ahead, the tunnel ended and daylight beckoned. It felt like she'd never escape, never inhale again. Flashes of Tom and Savannah danced through her mind like scenes in a sluggish movie reel. Driven by survival, Kate kicked harder and sliced the water with her hands, desperate for the light. But all that met her was darkness.